welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, I am Michelle. I am a 45-year-old mum of 3. I am married. I live in Essex, UK. And thanks to cash stuffing and budgeting, I have paid off £26,000 of debt. Now, that sounds amazing, but it took some doing. It was not easy, I'm not going to lie. But I want to spend a bit of time talking to you about how you can do cash stuffing and how it can change your life as well. So let's get started. What is cash stuffing? Cash stuffing has various names. Cash stuffing, envelope stuffing is another popular one. Basically, it's the name for the concept of categorizing your money and budgeting it in such a way that you can plan and categorize what you're going to spend your money on. So to start cash stuffing, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need a sheet of paper or a notepad. You're going to need a pen. And you're going to need some envelopes. Now, you are going to see people with loads of fancy displays and loads of these binders and trackers and fancy envelopes and all kinds of fancy trackers and savings challenges. Don't worry about that. You don't need it. What you need is a pen and a piece of paper before you need anything else. Now, this piece of paper has a budget tracker on it. This is free. I designed this. There will be a link for it below, but you don't need it. Plain paper will do. And what you are going to do is this. First things first, you need to get really honest with yourself and your financial situation. You take your piece of paper or your budget tracker and you need to write down all of the money that's coming in and then everything going out. Now, I am not going to lie to you. This may hurt. This may hurt a lot when you realise how those little bits of money are adding up every month. And it's scary. And I didn't like it when I did it. But it's the start of a brand new chapter and a change for better. It's life-changing. Cash stuffing is life-changing. I am absolute proof of that. So you're going to list all of your bills, all of your spending. In fact, I don't recommend using this to start with because there may be a case of you need more space than this. Just list everything in, out. Then you need to make that balance. If your out is more than your in, you need to look at what you can strip back. And it doesn't have to be everything. This is the thing. Budgeting is so completely personal. You don't have to strip back everything. I paid off £26,000 of debt, but I still had a holiday every single year. The kids still had their classes and groups. My daughter had her swimming lessons. We did cut down on things. We cut down on, we didn't have high grade Netflix and we just had the lower resolution with less screens. And I cut out some Patreon subscriptions that I didn't really need. We cut back on things. We stopped spending a lot of money on takeaways and we limited it to 1 takeaway a month. It just, little things like that really made such a huge difference to our budget. So we had extra money left at the end of every month. So what do you do with that extra money when you find it? First things first, don't get bogged down if all you've got left at the end of the month is a £5. It's better than some people, okay? You need some envelopes. Now, you can go out and buy yourself a binder and some fancy envelopes. I sell them at my shop. Countless other people sell them. They're available all over Etsy. You can find, in fact, if you go onto Pinterest, you can probably find free downloads to make paper envelopes with fancy bits on like this. So you can write your categories on, but you don't need it. You literally write down what you're going to be spending on. Now, these are called sinking funds. Sinking funds are things that you need to save up for that happen regularly. Think birthdays, car tax, Christmas, pet insurance. I'm trying to think of some other ones that I've got. My daughter does her swimming lessons, so I save up for those because they need to be paid every term. Things that, regular payments that happen that you need to save up for throughout the months, years. So let's say this is birthdays. We're going to save up for birthdays. Now, I have just emptied all of my binders because I don't like having too much cash in the house. So I've only got £5 spare on me right now. But the point is, birthdays. I have a spare £5. I put it in there. Now you can decorate this. You can make it pretty. You can put flowers or butterflies. I'm just going to say this. My office doesn't have the heating on. It's very cold and I can't feel my fingers. But do you know what I mean? And then you can write there's £5 on it. You can do lines. You can do dots. You can decorate it any way you want. Now, if you do have access to a printer, laminating is helpful, but you don't need it. You can get, I don't have the exact ones to hand, but on my coffee page, they're completely free. You do not have to donate anything. You don't have to like it, follow it. You can download some of trackers like these. These are savings trackers. They come in many different varieties. So this is a printed one, and some of them will have fixed amounts, like this one. And some of them will be, some people make shiny foil ones like me. Some people make glittered ones like me. I'm a big magpie. I'm a fan of the shine. But I also make these, and loads of people do these. You can download them for free. You can download really basic ones, and you can just colour in, tick them off as you save, however much. You pop that into your envelope to keep track. They're also available in things like this, with like just a tracker that you just fill in numbers if you don't want to colour in, if that's not your thing. And you save. Job done. That's essentially what cash stuffing is. So if you want to go down the slightly prettier route, if you have got some spare income and you want to make this aesthetic, to make it more enjoyable for yourself, and you can afford to do that, there is just a huge array of amazing creators. I recommend Etsy as a great place to look. If you are on a budget, try Pinterest. There's stuff on there. There's also a huge range of creators on YouTube who will have a buy me a coffee page, or Patreon or something, and they will offer lots of people offer freebies on there. I will post a link to some of them below. And then you see things like these gorgeous binders that you can get. They come in all kinds of patterns. Now these are A6 personal size binders. If you type this into Google, Etsy, Temu, Shein, anywhere like that, these will pop up. This was my first ever binder. There are some gorgeous creators, gorgeous binders from creators as well. They do some really, this one is from Budget with Ira. He has his own branded ones. I did splash out a bit on this one. This one was from Temu. This one was from Amazon. This one was from Temu. And what you'll find with these cheaper ones is they will come with, this one I think was like £4. If you look on Temu, Shein, places like that, if you look for the budget versions, sometimes you can find them on the Amazon sale as well if you want one faster. It is just a binder with 6 clips in it, and they will come with things like stickers. Now I've been using these ones. They will come with some wallets that go inside, so you can pop your money in there. They will come with budgeting sheets, so you don't need to buy my version or anybody else's. You can use these. They're free. And they will usually come with some stickers, transparent stickers as well, because with lots of different, basic categories on: water, heating, electric, shopping, bills, utilities, savings, most of the common categories are covered. So for about £4.50, you could be all set to go. It comes with a bunch of envelopes and things. And then I recommend watching some YouTube creators like myself. There's thousands out there. Most of them are better than me. I'll be honest, most of them are better than me. But it gives you a great sense of inspiration for categories, for setups, for ways and styles of saving. People do it so many different ways. I've taken inspiration from a lovely creator called Rosebud's Budgets who does a mini Mondays. And if you want something that's a really quick win with just small little bang, 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 you roll a dice and you choose which one it's going in, that's a great way to do it. If you are a big saver, people like Iris Budgets, Budget with Ira, there's just so many that I'm so sorry, like I watched so many of them that I can't remember everybody's names. They're just ones from the UK. There's America, there's people from all over the world doing this. I really recommend you check out some videos, but it is very, very important you do not compare yourself to anybody else. Comparison is indeed the thief of joy. Don't ever think, oh my God, they're doing so much better than me, I could never. Some weeks of my cash stuffing journey, and I've got the videos on this channel to prove it, I only had £10 to cash stuff over my categories, £10, and that was it. I couldn't afford to do any more. So don't be disheartened. Stick with it. If all you have got is some envelopes and a pen and £5, it can change your life. So how did cash stuffing change my life? Well, I will tell you, when I first accidentally stumbled across a video by Iris Budgets, I watched it and I was like, this is like, why is this so addictive? For a start, I was just watching somebody count her money. It just sounds wild to say it out loud as a sentence. But it piqued my interest and I looked into it some more, and I found that actually a lot of people were doing this, and they were talking about how well they were saving and how much easier saving seemed to be. Now, I like money. I like having money. I like spending money. So watching videos about money wasn't an issue for me, but it made me sit up and take notice. I got a pen and a piece of paper because I did not have a budget tracker at the time. And I worked out all of our money, and I worked out that I was spending way too much money on absolute tat and takeaways. And I stopped spending so much tat. I still had spending money, but it wasn't as much. It was a set amount, and I wasn't just going willy-nilly with a credit card. I had a budget, and that enabled us to pay off our debts. And the reason that is life-changing is because in February of this year, my husband was made redundant. But he wasn't just made redundant in the normal sense that we knew it was coming. We had an inkling it was coming because we knew the company was in trouble. But they emailed him 6 hours before payday, 6 hours before his pay was due to hit the bank, to say, actually, we've got no money. We can't afford to pay you. Don't come back to work. We're done. And he'd worked all month. We had no wages. All the bills were coming out. But because of cash stuffing, for the 18 months before that happened, we had no commercial debt. All of our bills were up to date. And I knew I had money in my binders to cover birthdays, utility bills, shopping, everything that we needed for the next few months, we were okay with. We could go with no income for a couple of months until things sorted themselves out. And they did sort themselves out. And now we are at the point where we have managed to start upgrades on our house. I've built this office for the business that I've built because of cash stuffing. Now, you don't have to do that. And then we took a trip to Norway and we ticked off 2 massive bucket list items, and we still have no debt. All of this because I found a video just like this. And so I'd like to end this video with a question. What do you think would happen this time next year if you started cash stuffing today? So yeah, Happy New Year. I wish you lots of happiness and abundance in 2026. And I look forward to hearing about your cash stuffing journey if you are about to start on this just amazing, life-changing way of life. Happy saving. Happy 2026. See you soon.